Okay, so as you recall, my recipe was for a federal hull with 7/8 ounce shot using the WAA SL wads. All right, this process is pretty straightforward. I've got two different federal hulls. You've got a resizing ring, and it's important that where they've got this line scribed into this resizing die, that's always on top, because there's a recess down in here where it's going to make sure that it covers over the base of that brass bit right there. So anyway, I'm sure there's a name for that. I don't know what it is. So this goes into station 1, and first thing we're going to do is deprime it and resize it. So you have to get it started, push it down, comes out. I'm going to push that in a little bit. There we go. So that's flush on the bottom now, and it's been deprimed. That's not going to come off very easy, so you put it into the next step, and we're going to put a primer in there first. Now we're going to push off the resizing ring and seat the primer. Okay, I'm going to do this other one just at the same time so we can do them both together. Okay, so we've got these two hulls ready to go. These are both 8 crimp, or 6 and 8 crimp. Those miscellaneous hulls that I had, they were all 6 crimp, but these are 8 crimp, and they're ready for powder. So now I've noticed that my wads don't go in really well, depending on how much of definition there is up there. So I just found it easier to take my funnel and just round that out a little bit. So we're going to put that goes in, this comes down. We're going to slide, and the powder has now dropped into the bottom. And so now the wad goes in. I take it down just till it stops. And now once the wad is in, you can slide this over and drop the shot. Okay, the shot is now in. I'm going to do this other one. Normally I would not do this, but this is just so you can see. That's not quite filled up to the top of the wad. Let's check this one out. Okay, this is the same situation. We're not quite to the top of the wad with the shot. So this one, I'm going to put just a little bit more shot in. Now you can see that it is up closer to the top compared to this one. There have been some issues that I've come across, so all right. Now, normally you would just go progressively from one station to the other station without doing it this way. I would never suggest doing it this way. This is just to show what's going on. Now, if you take a look at the crimp pattern and you want the indent where it comes in to be lined up with you, then you bring the press down. It starts to fold it. This is for an 8 crimp. Take it to the next station. And there you go. This one is the one that has a little bit more shot. We're going to do the same thing. Take it down, get the crimp started, put it over here lined up with the indent going that right in front. And the only difference is the one with more shot it's less concave than this one. This one's a little bit more concave. That isn't. Now I have had issues with actually being able to see the shot because this got pressed down in too far. You could actually shake the shot out. I found that that either there was not enough shot in here, or that there was a occasion where, now this is not the right wad, but I had a wad that got crunched because I put too much pressure on when I seated my wad, and that appears to be very critical. Okay, so just to make sure that we know the right way to make this work, let's go through this 2 more times. Got 2 more pieces of Federal brass. Put those back. You press on the sizing ring and extract the primer. Load a new primer. Press off the resizing ring, seat the primer. Here again, I like to do this, and I'll do this one now just while I've got it. This really makes a whole lot of difference in getting the primer or the wad in. Okay. That goes in. We drop in the powder. We put in the wad, making sure that it doesn't deform. Drop in the shot. Go to the next station and start the crimping process. Finish up the crimping process. There you go. Now we've got the next one. Put on the sizing ring. Load the primer. Take off the sizing ring, seat the primer, and that's pretty good. Drop in the powder. Put in the wad. Load in the shot. And that does appear to be just a little bit undersized, so I am going to put just a few BBs in there. And we'll put them into the next station, line it up. See how this one is more concave? You can just start to see that that first BB in there. I think I'm going to have to experiment to see if I can get a better load, or just each time I'm going to have to add just a few, because that one turned out better. Okay, so now let's do the fun part. I have loaded up a number of shells, and let's go to the range and shoot them. Okay, we're out of the range. I've got my reloads. I've got my shotgun. Let's see what happens. That one got stuck. Another one stuck. I'm going to try 9 more, see what happens. Much better. Now I'm going to pick up my shells, because what you take to the range, you should bring home from the range if at all possible. The balloons, yeah, I'm not bringing them home. All right, that was yesterday actually before I shot those. That's why I'm wearing a different shirt. Did you catch that? Yeah. So there's the basics of reloading shotgun shells. Now, when I get to, if I decide to go with number 2 shot and want to go with, instead of a 7/8 of an ounce of shot, and want to go to something, oh, let's see, what does this say for, you go 1 1/8 load, 1 1/2 load, 1 1/4 ounce load. Depending on what I want, I will have to get some new wads and follow the recipe and get all the components. But reloading shotgun shells, it can be frustrating at times, but I got, what else do I have to do? I'm retired. So anyway, there's my journey into reloading. The next video, we're going to talk about loading slugs. That has been a challenge, but it's a challenge that I think I've now finally figured out how to deal with. So until next time, I'm Sharps 1874, and I thought you might like to know.